the Jews were proclaiming the coming of Muhammad, right? So and also Muhammad raised a dead boy, right? Because Muhammad asks a Jewish man, have you seen me mentioned in your Torah? And the Jewish man says no, but the man's son had died, and the dead son rises to admit that yes, the Bible does have Muhammad mentioned in it, and then he proclaims that Muhammad is, the prophet of Allah. So Muhammad did raise the dead. Anyway, so now what we have here, right? This is in Persian. This is a Persian manuscript, right, which depicts Muhammad, who is leading Abraham, Moses, and Jesus and others in prayer. Now, this fire around Muhammad, this is his halo. And notice that all the other quote-unquote prophets, have just a halo around their heads, but Muhammad's halo extends around his whole body. And all of the others, all the holy prophets, pray behind him, right? So this is part of the veneration of Muhammad. Now, let's look at some other writings on Muhammad. So, from the third light upon their tongues, which is the light of Tawhid, right? And from the fourth part, Allah made the different lights of the soul of Muhammad. So Muhammad is constructed out of the Tawhid, right? Literally out of Allah. So this lovely soul came into being 360,000 years before the creation of the world. There is no time in heaven. So Muhammad was shaped most beautifully and made of incomparable matter. Its head was made from guidance, Muhammad's neck from humility, Muhammad's eyes from modesty, and Muhammad's forehead from closeness to Allah, Muhammad's mouth from patience, and his tongue from truthfulness, its cheeks from, its belly from, and blah, blah, his feet from, and his knees from, and blah, 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 blah. Then the crown of divine proximity was placed upon Muhammad's blessed head, exalted above all else, embellished with divine pleasure, and given the pure holy name of the beloved of Allah. And this you'll find here on this website called Muhammadan Reality, the creation of Muhammad.
Brother, can you please go up a little, because you gave a very nice topic and then you moved so fast out of it.
Sorry about
Tawheed,
that.
a little more. Tawheed. So here, read from the third light upon their tongues, which is the light of Tawheed, the unity of Allah. So Quran says Kul huwallahu ahad, which they always claim to be the Tawheed verse or Tawheed chapter, that Allah doesn't have anything equating to him, and etc. But we see over here that the scholars of Islam are saying that Muhammad is created out of the Tawheed, Tawhid, because you said in brackets it's the unity of Allah, so it is Tawheed. Hence the brackets, the part in the brackets explains that it is Tawheed, no matter how the spellings are written. The light of Tawheed. So what you are telling me is that Muhammad comes from the Nur Allah. So Muhammad is the part of the Nur Allah.
He is literally a piece of Allah.
He's a piece of Allah.
Yeah. He
awesome.
was emanated from Allah. He was taken from Allah's own essence. He is a part of Allah's own essence.
So Allah and Momo are one.
Yes.
Awesome. So guys, according to Islamic scholars, Allah and Momo are one. Okay, yeah. Please, brother.
Remember, I showed a number of these like this last time. Okay, last week I showed a number of these, right? Several of these. So this is just the last one. So Muhammad is like 13,000 years old. He's 360,000 years old. He's 170,000 years old. He's whatever. Well, Muhammad was at the creation. So Allah made all of the earth, all of the heavens, the whole universe for Muhammad, as we saw last week. All right. So understand, Muhammad is very, very special.
Brother, can we jump to a specific point over here? Because now we are talking about the light of Allah. So when Muhammad was born, you told us last time as well, a little hint as well. There was a light. Can we jump to that and then come back over here? Because this is very important. So the light is emerging from the vagina, excuse my language, vagina of mother of Muhammad. Is that what it says?
Yeah. Now we discussed this last week at length. I showed several references to Muhammad being the light of Allah. His light shone out of his mother's vajayjay and shone 1,300 kilometers all the way to Bosra in Syria. So So it's right here. So I heard a Jew calling out at the top of his voice from the top of a fort, O company of Jews, confound you, what is the matter? And he answered, tonight has risen a star under which Muhammad is to be born. So the Jews were proclaiming the birth of Muhammad, right? There's no evidence for this, but they make numerous such claims. And a voice said to Amina, you are pregnant with the Lord of this people. And when he is born, say, I've put him in the care of the one from the evil of every envier, then call him Muhammad. As she was pregnant with him, she saw a light come forth from her by which she could see the castles of Busra and Syria. Now, here's my question. If she was indoors in Mecca, how could she see the castles 1,300 kilometers away in Syria?
Brother, is there a map that you have
So,
for the light emitting
so
so
yeah,
that
so
people
this
would?
is the thing that apparently was shining all the way to Syria. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I did some research and I found this. This is the most likely thing that was shining all the way to Syria. And here we go. So let's have a look. So this is what they saw in Busra in Syria, okay, up here. And of course, this thing was shining all the way from Mecca. So if we look at Mecca, right, then we go all the way up here, all the way through Saudi Arabia, past the Gulf of Aqaba, through Jordan, past Israel, past Amman, all the way into Damascus, all the way into Syria. This is how far Mo's mother shone her light.